Hello, everyone. Hello, and welcome to another KAMDI Conversations. And I am Tanya Hawley, your host for today. And of course, I'm always so excited to be with you all and have different guests. And I especially am excited about today because I love when we have new and independent artist spotlights because I feel like there's hidden gems there that people don't know about. And I get to introduce you to them if you don't know. So, and once again, I get to do that today. And I have a very special guest. And wait till you all hear him. I'm just saying, that voice, he is known as Little Barry White and the man with the velvet voice. And you're going to find out why right now. So please join me in welcoming Mr. J. Henry. Yay! There you
Hey,
are. Hello.
hey there, how are you, Tanya?
I am great. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Been
All
waiting a
right.
long time to talk to you.
Yes, and I thank you so much for joining me today. I've been waiting to talk to you as well. And we're going to get started. We've got about a half hour, and I want to get everything in. So by the time we're done, everybody knows about you and knows who you are. So
All
let's
right.
jump in. All right. And again, thank you so much for joining me and taking the time. So,
And,
hey, John, thanks for joining us. John Cunningham, my buddy, is here. So let's start at the beginning. Tell
yeah,
me how this music journey, because from what I understand, you've been doing this for about 30 years. Is that right?
yeah, 30, whew, about 32, 33 years exactly. I started out in the church like most people, singing around the age 7. Then around 9 years old, I picked up the saxophone, and
Hmm.
with the sax, once I found out that women liked it, that was a done deal.
Oh,
So
yes, I understand. And you said at 9 years old?
yes, yes, nine
Very
years old.
young to pick a sax up.
Oh yeah. And the funny thing, I didn't even know what a saxophone was. Um, but my uncle, who passed this year, he was a jazz musician in New Orleans, and I said I wanted to play the sax. Didn't know what it was, but he happened to play it, so he gave me my first saxophone, and the rest is history.
Oh, wow. And condolences for losing your uncle. I'm sorry to hear
Right.
that. And where are you from? Is that where you're from?
New Orleans, Louisiana.
All
Yeah.
right. Actually, that's a place I have not been, but I sure would like to get there. I'm going to get there one of these days.
Yeah, we got to make that happen.
Yes, absolutely. So the saxophone, where did you first hear it? How did you know about it?
I believe saxophone. I believe my first encounter with the saxophone, believe it or not, was seeing Kenny G on the Arsenio Hall show.
Oh,
That was and of course back then I thought it was a clarinet. Come to find out it was a soprano sax. And
okay.
my introduction to Grover Washington, Mr. Magic. On my
Ooh,
uncle, my mother's side, they were DJs. So of course, we had nothing but the Creative Stacks and Motown and everything else. So
absolutely.
yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs, Mr. Magic. There's a classic right there. You took me back for a minute. Okay. Anyway, so this journey, so were you in the band? Tell me through school?
Yes. I started out in a band in fourth grade and all the way through high school. Probably about my sophomore year of high school, I put my own band together with a couple of guys that were in the marching band, and we were playing on TV, we were playing in nightclubs in high school and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
a couple of the guys, one of my best friends actually, uh, he's a well-known producer in New Orleans and in the gospel arena. So it's been cool. All of us have been pretty successful in our musical endeavors, so to speak.
Wonderful. Now, the band you put together, was it a jazz band or was it R&B band? What type of band was it?
Well, because we are musicians, they would consider us jazz,
Okay.
but I've always um, played from the perspective of a singer. So I typically don't classify it as jazz. I just consider it good music, but
Okay.
it kind of leans more towards the R&B side.
Okay. Great. That's always an interesting conversation. Um, is it jazz? Is it R&B? Is it gospel jazz? Is it, what is it? Um, so you sounds like you don't put yourself in the box though.
Nah, I remember, even though I'm a young 40, I still remember before radio switched over. It wasn't
Mhm.
uncommon for you to find Grover, Dave Sanborn, Kenny G. You would find all of those guys on the R&B station. They didn't typically classify it; they just classified it as good music, so to say.
Which is all that really matters.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
So
I think played at the right time in the song has the right effect.
very good. Now, do you just play the saxophone, or are there other instruments you play?
Um, Saxophone primarily. I can play a little keyboard enough to write a song or whatever.
Okay.
But saxophone and vocals is my forte.
Okay. Very good. I wasn't sure, so I wanted to ask that question. So thank you.
You're
So
welcome.
your band took you through high school and out of high
Yeah.
school. So tell us what happened after that. Where'd you go after you finished high school, and the journey continues?
After high school, also in high school, I put together a singing group which consisted of my twin brother and two of my friends. So while we were in high school, alongside with my band, I had the singing group. We did Showtime at the Apollo when Steve Harvey was there. It was in
Nice.
2000. We won our first show on Showtime at the Apollo, lost the
Ooh,
second one. But right after high school, I began to focus more heavily on the singing group, um,
okay.
trying to chase the dream, so to say.
Yes.
And all
Wait,
the
wait.
while,
Jay Henry,
yeah,
wait a minute. You just skipped over to Apollo like it was like normal, like that's a everyday thing. No, wait. Tell us that experience, because I have not had
oh my
anyone on
God.
my show that has said that to me. So you got to paint the picture for us.
All right, so had the singing group. Our singing group name was Cristal. We used to do all of the talent shows around the city, um, and we had become pretty popular. And there was this talent show called the WYLD Talent Show. They held it every year. It was the most prestigious talent show in the state, actually.
Okay.
So we got into that talent show. We sang "These Are the Times" by Drew Hill. We actually came in second place. Now, first place was the all expense paid trip to Showtime at the Apollo. But Percy Sutton and Maxine Davis, who Percy Sutton was the executive producer,
Hmm.
Maxine Davis was the amateur night producer. We had just came in second, and of course, we all going trying to hug our girlfriends and whatnot. and and Maxine Davis, she ran down the hall and came got me and was like, "Hey, we want you all to come to Apollo, but you got to pay your way." I'm like, "Oh, really?" And for us, especially for African Americans, the Apollo, the Voice Who, American Idol Who, Apollo is where you want to go.
Yes.
So we sold raffle tickets and
Oh,
paid our way there, and it was a time for us to put up a shut up because we used to always say, "Man, if we go on Apollo, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do
that's
that."
right. Right. You're talking all that. Now
So,
it's time to do it. Yeah.
so we finally got that opportunity to go there, and Steve Harvey was the host. I'd never forget. Goody Mob and Ricky Smiley were the comedian and special guests that night.
Okay.
Second show after we won, um, Donnell Jones and Alonzo Bowden were the special guests for that show. But we had that opportunity. It's been 21 years, and it was quite the experience. I'll never, ever, ever forget it. And I think it was at that moment that let me really know that we really had something that could
Yes.
work. So
That's
our group stayed together until right after Hurricane Katrina when we moved to Atlanta.
okay.
And that's when I began to really brand myself as a saxophonist. I was in a new city. something new. So I said, let me give this thing a shot here. Really, really go after this.
Okay.
And,
Well, thank you for sharing your Apollo story. Thank you so much for doing that. And so, did the group stay together when you moved to Atlanta? Were you all still together?
briefly, and the funny thing, everyone is in Atlanta.
Okay.
Uh, just creative differences and um, being, I'll say, children because we were teenagers.
Okay.
Starting out. Then when you become adults in life, everybody has different responsibilities, and so sometimes it's just best to go your separate ways.
Understood. Yes. Okay. So you got to the ATL. Welcome to the ATL. How did the ATL treat you?
I really think that was probably the single uh, best move that I ever made in my life.
Wow.
It really allowed me to uh, have exposure
Okay.
to the industry and to people in a whole new level. And it took the familiarity out of things to whereas New
Mhm.
Orleans was comfortable. And Atlanta's just, excuse me,
Mhm.
a bigger and much more diverse market. And it really, really opened up so many doors. And I don't think had I not moved here,
Mm,
I would have had the level of success. I don't think you and I would be talking right now.
maybe not. I,
So,
I think that's wonderful. I'm glad Atlanta served you well. I'm glad you made that move. And it
uh,
sounded like you basically are saying you stepped out of your comfort zone when you moved to Atlanta, right?
absolutely, absolutely. Moving here from Katrina, I moved here with nothing. You know,
Mm,
um, my whole family's in New Orleans. My safety net, my comfort, everything that I knew, everything that was familiar to me,
hmm.
uh, is there. So to really take that chance and especially, move with nothing, um, it can be quite scary, but it also it shows you what you're made of. So
Ah,
you learn if you have it or if you don't.
okay. Very good. And so, who were your influences as far as for the saxophone or?
Oh, saxophone. First of all, my Uncle Pierre, my teacher, Mr. Brian Graber. There was a guy in New Orleans named Greg Dawson. Oh my God. Um, Kirk Whalum, Gerald
Mm,
Albright, Mike Phillips, Grover Washington, Kenny G, Warren Hill, Nelson Rangel. Uh, the
some
list
good
goes
stuff.
on. Oh yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Goes
I
on.
was wondering if you're going to name some of them, and you did. You named ones. I'm big fans of quite a few of those people you named.
Oh yeah.
So did you get your first deal here, record deal here in the Atlanta
Yes.
area?
Yes, I got my first record deal in 2014 with a company called Spectrum Music Group, and put out my second album with that label. It was a very very uh, good. It was a very interesting experience. Good
Okay.
and interesting, but um, I'm forever thankful for them because they gave me excuse me, an opportunity that
Mm-hmm.
most people, spend their whole life chasing, be it good, bad, or different. I think I think it was important for me because I learned a lot, and whatnot, and it just was an opportunity to have that experience of being a
Okay.
signed artist.
Okay. Now, when did you start? When did you discover this little Barry White thing going on? This voice. When did this start happening?
All right, so
I
Barry
heard.
White. I was 8 years old when Secret Garden first came out, and the first experience to Barry White. And it's funny that this clip is actually on YouTube. They were on an award show doing it live, and the moment I heard that, tell me a secret, I always like, wow, that's deep. And I said, I want to sound like that. And my twin brother, he was like, you make the song sound ugly. I'm like, nah. So um, I would always hear that, and then um, by the time I was 14, my voice starts changing.
Oh,
And
wow.
it's right around the time Practice What You Preach comes out. So I heard of Barry White, but never really listened, but knew of him. And then Practice What You Preach comes out. So what do you want to do? I'm ready. I'm waiting on you. Believe me. I am patient.
Whoa, what did your family think about that? Your brother, what were they saying?
Everybody was like, whoa. So I would catch hell calling girls' houses. I'm big now, of course, but I'm a toothpick at the time, and a little red toothpick and this heavy voice, and calling, hold on, how old are you? 14, you know, and they see me in person and like, you know, that can't be, yeah. But and it would be funny because when my mother's friends would call the house and I'd answer the phone, like, who is that man answering the phone? And all of a sudden you see cars popping up at the house. They won't see who the man is. And,
Oh, that's funny.
So,
Oh, that's funny.
And it's funny, you know, because even though I had that voice, you know, I wasn't using it for singing. I was just using it more for seductive purposes. But you know, but
I love it. I love how you nicely said that too. that was
hey,
very
you
nice.
you got to use what you got, you know. But
Okay.
but it's even though I would always sing, I would always compare my voice to my brother's. My twin brother, who's my favorite singer, and he's a tenor. So I never sounded like him. So I never really appreciated my voice, and I would hide behind my saxophone, so I would get popular. But then I started realizing, you know, it's certain limits I have with the saxophone.
Right.
So what else? Out of a matter of searching and discovering, I was like, what else can I do that would make the show better and make me a little more different as an artist? So I would slowly but surely begin experimenting, singing. And the moment I realized, when I dropped down to that bass baritone, that those women started going crazy in the audience outside of me just talking, I said, you know what? We're going to try this.
There it is, those women again. Okay, J. Henry.
So we're going to try this one. So
okay, that's great. Well, you know what? Let's let them hear some of that. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my favorite DJ, DJ 12, to give everybody a little sample. Hey, DJ 12. Welcome.
Hi, what's going on?
Thanks for joining us again.
Yes, you're welcome.
And we want
Mr. Henry, good evening.
Good evening. How's it going, man?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Oh, man, I'm great. I'm great.
All right, well, we're about to let the listeners know why they call you Lil Barry, but I'm going to start off with that mean sax that you play. That okay?
All right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Take it away, DJ 12. Here we go.
know it's a little late, but I just thought I'd give you a call and see how you're doing. I hope I'm not disturbing you. You've been on my mind all day. Just wanted to hear your voice and let you know I've been thinking about it. Just tell you what's on my mind right now. I really would like to see you tonight. I really want you to come over and I just want to look at you and see you in person. I just want to see you. Yeah. Here we go. Got me in my feeling, yeah. I think it's something about your tone, yeah. And if you're feeling like you're feeling bad, without the fall, and come on, yeah. Come on.
And since this was your inspiration for dipping down that vocal road, why not?
Tell me a secret. I don't just want to know any secret, but I want to know very special secret. Because tonight, I want to learn all the secrets in your car. I want to be mine. Know your deepest feelings. I want to make it right for you. Baby, show me. Let me share the mystery. Oh, come on.
And last but not least, what I believe is your newest release, another homage to the Maestro, one of my favorites, and you did an outstanding job. So I'm going to enjoy this.
This is the journey, and this song is dedicated to the late great Mr. Barry White, often imitated but never imitated. The issue Maestro. Here we go. It might be me, what you had in store was half only me. See me, that's right. Then I took a look, I saw that message in your eyes. The way I fell on the floor, the way you look, girl, only made me want you more. I did not know you had me at the time. There's a minute of your body just in my eyes. I know I had to hold you and make you mine. Don't want to control you, just have a good time and ecstasy. Oh, yeah.
Thank you, DJ 12. Jamming. Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And thank you.
That was. Oh, I hear you. I hear you over there, jamming off your own stuff. There's nothing wrong with that.
And for anyone who was listening, that version of Secret Garden was not the original. That was Jay Henry and an awesome collection of artists. That was Kim Richardson, Creole King, and Tonio, along with him doing their version of the Secret Garden,
Very
the
nice.
Central Suite.
Very nice version, Jay Henry. I enjoy that song a lot.
Outstanding.
Yes, great job. And DJ 12, I thank you once again for joining us, giving us the KAMDI
You're
Mini
welcome.
Mix. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Tell everybody where they can hear you.
Always a pleasure. Don't forget, you can catch me every Saturday on WRTWDB Raw Truth Radio. You can do that on Live 365 TuneIn or any Alexa-powered device. Y'all know the deal. I got places to go and people to see. So I'm out of here. Peace.
All right. Thanks, DJ 12. Till next time. All right, Jay Henry. That was awesome.
Thank you.
If they didn't know, they know now. So you sound so much like Barry. It's kind of scary. I just want you to know. So,
Even his daughter told me that. I met her last year through my producer. They called, and of course, I was shocked that she was on the phone. As soon as I said hello, she was like, "Oh my God, you sound just like my daddy." And I'm like, "So all right, can't nobody tell me nothing now."
right. I'm sure she said that. Wow, what a compliment!
Oh my God, that was real.
And so that was you speaking. Or was she saying that because she heard you sing?
Oh, she had never heard me sing.
So she heard you sing then, or what happened? She's heard you since.
Well, she's heard my music because I sent it to her. She really enjoyed the music, but just from hearing me say hello, how you doing?
Okay, from your voice, yes. You do sound like him, I gotta admit. So you got a niche there, Jay Henry, I would think. I don't know anybody else that sounds like Barry White as much as you do.
Yeah, that's from years of imitating him, I guess.
Well, I have to say some of that's got to be natural. So you've worked with several artists, right? So tell us some of the artists right quick who you've worked with.
Kiki Wyatt, Ralph Johnson of Earth, Wind and Fire, Nikki Gilbert, Tiffany Haddish, Glenn Jones, Lenny Williams.
Yes,
Glenn
both have been my guests. Yes, Glenn's a good friend, of course.
The Rude Boys, Tony Terry, Gary Lil G. Jenkins. I toured with Sinbad for 6 years up until COVID.
Wonderful.
So it's been a lot of artists that I've had the pleasure of working with. But this year, of course, collaborating with Glenn Jones, Lenny Williams, Jared B.O.A. Allen, and Dick King. That one was surreal because growing up listening to Glenn and Lenny. So to be able to work with all these people and be respected by what I consider icons and legends in this industry is very humbling for me. So we got to work on a song, as I stated, and I'm really excited when that one comes out.
Yes.
And also I'm currently doing a Christmas project with Herb Middleton, who's my producer, former Bad Boy producer, and we're doing a collaboration with Maxine Jones of In Vogue. So I'm really excited about that one.
Is that for this year?
Yes.
Oh, okay, great. Well, you make sure you share so we can help promote that on the Fans of Unsung page. I know we got some Unsungeteers watching, and they'll watch later. And we want to make sure we support you as much as we can. So it's actually our time is about up. I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Who would you like to work with that you haven't worked with yet? Do you have any dreams of working with certain artists?
Absolutely. Stephanie Mills.
Ooh.
Gladys Knight. I actually did a version of Feel the Fire, her and Teddy Pendergrass version. So I definitely want to get that to her. And of course, work with her. Gladys, Patty. I still want to work with the entire Earth, Wind and Fire.
Okay.
Fantasia, definitely. Jennifer Hudson. It's so many to name that I would love to work with. And the route I'm going, I actually may get to do that. I've been able to work with.
Absolutely. I don't see why not. Sky's the limit. Just put it out there.
Oh,
Pray
yeah.
about it. Watch God make it happen for you. I know there's some big things in store for you, Jay Henry. So I look forward to continue watching where you're going.
Thank you. And, being that we're in the same city, hopefully we can collaborate on some things together and maybe
Absolutely. And I can't wait to hear you perform live because we're both right here in Atlanta. So we're both here. We're going to make that happen. So I want that experience, the full experience of Jay Henry. And the last thing, I said it was last, I'm ask you one more thing. The name. So we've got Jay Henry Live and we got the journal. So tell us which one each is.
All right. Jay Henry Live, that's been with me since I became a solo artist as a saxophonist. And when we really got into the singing thing, making that more prevalent, we decided we wanted to kind of make that an alter ego to differentiate it, have another conversation piece. Jay Henry Live, talks about my live show and everything and how energetic it is. But then you have the side of me, the journal as the artist, the open book, the smooth dude. If you listen to my music on the R&B side, it's a conversation. It's more talking to you.
Okay.
It's real back. The Jay Henry side, that's the day side. The journal, when you get the journal, that's the nightcap. That's after you've had dinner and everything. And when you put the journal on, it's time to,
Oh, my. Okay. Very good. Well, I thank you so much for joining me today. I have enjoyed our conversation. Please tell everybody where they can get your music, where they can find you, where they can follow you. Please let everyone know.
All right. Find me on all my social media, Jay Henry Live. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everything. You can find my music on Apple Music via the journal or via Jay Henry. That's the letter J. Henry. Please follow me. Please interact with me. I do interact with my fans and friends and family because I consider them all that. And we're currently reconstructing my website, so that should be up soon. Also, stay tuned for 2022. We have the Moontown cartoon coming up, which I am a part of with Moontown Records, Herb Middleton, animated series, which is going to be fun, featuring a lot of big names in the industry. So stay tuned for that, y'all.
Wonderful. Well, please keep us posted.
Absolutely.
Everyone, please support Jay Henry. Thank you again for joining me today. And you can follow me at the KAMDI Group on all social media, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can see this interview as well as all the previous interviews and future interviews. And next week, join me right here at the same time where we'll have One Way. So thank you, everyone, for joining me with a KAMDI Conversation, and we will see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right, y'all.